All right. As of this recording right now, it is 11:32 p.m. at night. Had to come downstairs so I wouldn't keep my fiance up, but I have had something on my mind for the last 2 hours, and it's a subject that's really close to me. And I told my fiance I needed to get this done tonight, or I was gonna forget what I was wanting to talk about. If most of you read my blog, The Defining Moment in My Life, it talks about how I was close to suicide. I did not think there was any hope. I was just so physically and emotionally worn down. I was just ready to go. You can read more about that whole thing in my other blog. I'm not going to get into great detail about that, but I do want to talk about the subject of suicide. I've had a few people message me. Sorry. I've had a few people message me on Facebook, talking about how they too have been close to suicide, and really it's really starting to grab my attention now that this is not uncommon at all. As a matter of fact, after I got one of the messages earlier, I got on my phone and I started to do a little bit more research as far as the statistics go about the rate of suicide, things like that. I want to read out a couple of these to you. One of them, this is coming from save.org. You can go on their website. They have all kinds of information on there about it. The first one that pops up is suicide takes the lives of nearly 30,000 Americans every year. That number is just unreal to me. And I guess it's kind of hitting home with me a little bit more because I could have been in that number. I could have been in that statistic. But the other thing that really hits me is that that's 30,000 lives that weren't saved. And it's just sad. See if I can find another one on here. Over half of all suicides occur in adult men ages 25 to 65. That right there is there's just another statistic. Just kind of, it's just sad. But I'll get more into the statistics in just a minute. I want to talk a little bit more about something that's been weighing on my mind, and the fact is that suicide is preventable. It's completely preventable. Now, I know personally, whenever I was going through what I was going through, I didn't want to put my burdens on anybody else. Nobody knew what I was going through. There was not one person that knew that I had the things on my mind that I had. Nobody knew. And part of that was because I was ashamed. I was ashamed. I felt like I was the only one feeling this way. And nobody's gonna have the same exact story that I have. It's gonna be completely different. Everybody's completely different. But what I was talking to my fiance about earlier is that the people that have had these brush-ins with suicide, they're sitting there thinking about taking their own life. They're sitting there with a gun in their hand, or they're sitting there with a bottle of sleeping pills by their side, and then they get that ray of hope, and that's what the whole thing is whenever I was close to suicide, I felt like there was no hope. I felt like there was no way to go up. I felt like the only way to go was down. And I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to get to experience the hope again. And what I'm getting at here is that you read all of these statistics and you hear about how there's help for you. Now that's true. There is help to help prevent suicide. But something that I was telling my fiance is that the people that have been through the experiences of suicide and want to take their own life, they don't tell their stories enough. The one person sitting at their computer chair right this second with a bottle of sleeping pills by their side, they may just need to know that there is that ray of hope, that somebody somewhere has been through the same exact thing that they are going through, that they have going through their mind right now. And the more I'm thinking about it, I'm starting to think that maybe it's my responsibility to branch out a little bit more to let my story be heard just a little bit more, so that maybe one person can hear it and see that this person found hope. Maybe I can too. And I think that's where one way that we can change the world. 30,000 people per year. What can we do different to help reach out to these 30,000 people that are killing themselves every single year? And I've heard our pastor say that silence is acceptance. And if you've had these brush-ins before, I think it's our responsibility. But if we don't say anything, if we're silent about what's going on, we're accepting the world the way it is. I know that talking about it's hard. Making this video right now is hard because it's a very emotional subject for me. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of the messages that I have received on Facebook have kind of made me choke up a little bit. It hits really close to home for me. Look, if you have been through the experience, if you have been close to suicide, literally this close to suicide, and you have got that ray of hope, I don't care if it's coming from religion, I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be religion. This has nothing to do with it right now. But if you had that experience where you have gotten that ray of hope, share your story. You never know who might need to hear it. You never know who might need to know that you were in the shoes that they're in now, but you found that speck of hope. Maybe, just maybe, that can trigger something in their head that says, maybe there is hope. Maybe I should hold on just a little bit longer. We don't need to accept the world the way that it is. The world is a broken place. But one person at a time, we can fix it. We can make this world better for everybody. Now, there's no shortage on ways to change the world. But if you have a story, share it. And I know that things are hard to talk about, but at some point we have to get, and this is another one of my things I've seen on my pastor's page, talking about it's time that we get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Things are not always going to be easy. In fact, changing the world will not be easy. It's going to be hard, really, really hard. But one person at a time, we can change it. This went longer than I thought it was going to go. I kind of got a little bit chatty and not necessarily to the point as quick as I would have liked, but it's something that I'm really passionate about. If you've been through it, share it. There's no. Whenever I come out with my story, nobody, not my family, not my friends, my coworkers, none of them judged me at all. None of them gave me hell about it at all. They literally, everybody that I've talked to about it, ever since I posted that blog, the ones that have come to me has said, James, we never knew. And I've had people apologize to me because they said they feel like they failed me. And it's not about getting those responses. It's about coming out with my experience to maybe touch someone else's life, maybe to save one of the lives, maybe to save one of the 30,000. And we have a responsibility. We have tunnel vision. We think that our life is the only life that matters, when in reality we are all connected in this world. We all have a responsibility to one another, to love one another, to protect one another. And people, we have to improve on it. We have got to better this world. But again, I just got completely passionate again. But this right now it's 11:41 at night, and I thank you for watching this video. Please share it. I'm not going to sit there and beg you to share everything that I do, but this right here is one subject that I think needs to be shared. I'm not seeking any kind of self-gain from this. All that I can hope is that in this 9 minutes and 43 seconds that maybe I can touch someone's life. And I think that if you have a story, I think you can touch someone else's life too. But thank you again for watching. Please share it, comment, do whatever. Let's get out there and let's change the world, people.